Hello, Ashtabula and Lake County. So I'm here doing a dialogue with Dylan here in the Gazette conference room, actually. So we have some exciting things to talk about. So I'm here with Becke and Chrissy. Would you guys like to share kind of your titles here and
Sure.
such?
I am Becke Bradbury Creed. I am the new president and publisher of Gazette Newspapers. My husband Bill retired January 1st of this year, and I assumed the role then. And if you've never ran a company, it's a challenge, but we're doing very well. And I would like to introduce Christine Hamski, my marketing director.
Yes, wonderful. Welcome, both of you, and thank you both for taking the time out of your busy schedule with so much going on. But we're excited to share some news here at the Gazette, some important updates about a unification process of the Gazette, the Courier, and the News into one streamlined publication. So that's going to start actually July 3rd, which is in a couple days,
Yes,
right?
this
On
week.
Thursday, so this week,
Yep.
which is kind of exciting. So this, you'll get all of this streamlined into one paper, but that's what we're going to talk about, because change happens, but we're here to support you through that process. So we'll be diving into that, what it means to our readers, how we can improve access both in news and print, and also with the social media things we're doing as well, and on the website too, with the new website. So let's get started. So Becke, I have a few questions for you
Yes.
first. So it motivated kind of the decision to unite the Gazette, the Courier, and the News into this one unified paper.
Well, we had been talking about it for a few years now, but a lot goes into doing this. It's not just, hey, we're going to combine these newspapers and it's a done deal. We have to do postal regulations. We have to make sure we have the manpower back in our production crew to be able to pull that many papers off and stuff that many papers and so forth and so on. So we've been kind of leaning that way for a couple of years, and I think it was just time with the increase in social media activity, and of course with our website, it was just time to go ahead and pull the plug and do it.
Yeah, like you said, and more like it almost feels like all together at once doing these
Yes.
changes. Kind of, I think people can get more used to those things and
Yes.
seeing that, and it's happening in more places too. With other papers and things as well, which is great. So how do you think this unified newspaper will better serve readers in the community? What do you think?
Did you have something? I can go ahead.
You can go.
Okay. I think it's going to be better served because I think a lot of times Ashtabula County is a huge county.
Yes,
And
it
I
is.
know, being involved with the community for 25 years that I've been employed with the Gazette, South County kind of sometimes feels like they're left out.
Yeah, yeah.
And I can see it. So this way too, we're kind of bringing everybody together in one unified newspaper.
Yep.
That way too, our advertisers can benefit from all three newspapers as well, instead of just picking or choosing one of the three or all 3.
Yeah.
You're going to get all of it all the time.
Yep.
And we're still going to have the same great editorial coverage. We're still going to have all of our advertisers in every week as well. So I think it's going to be perfect for the readership and our advertisers as well. Everyone's going to benefit. It's a win-win.
Yeah, and that's one thing too, because I cover well, when I first started, I covered South County, like you said, and then now I'm kind of filling in again with some of those areas, and they do so many things there. That's
They
the
do.
thing,
South
and
County, I mean,
they have a lot of really cool events and
yes,
things
they
that
do,
I
and
don't think people know from inland.
Yep.
Like my husband, his whole life lived like inland Ashtabula, and he's like, I honestly didn't know much about South County.
Yep.
I'll be, honest with you, and I lived in a small town where it was one high school and you knew your town.
Sure.
And so covering that area, it's just there's such a strong knit community too. And if you have that in one paper, and then people in Asheville will be like, wow, that stuff's happening in Andover. That's a cool trip.
Exactly. And it's not that far.
No, it's like
really not.
It's like far enough to be away though a little. Where if they want to get a little trip,
everyone,
which is nice.
What I've noticed too is, people in this area will drive to Erie, drive to Nye,
Yes.
drive to Menor, drive to Andover,
yes,
drive to Orwell.
Yep.
It's a wonderful place, wonderful people, great chambers of commerce down there. We have Laura Rybald in the Pymatuning area chamber. We have Jackie Foote in the Grand Valley chamber, and they're just wonderful people and a lot of giving people in our southern communities.
Yeah, so I think that will be an interesting thing. They'll see more of that.
I agree.
What you're going to see there, which is great. So what benefits do you kind of anticipate for advertisers? So you kind of talked about that and the community with this bringing together of all the papers.
I know some of our subscribers that have been with us for a long time it's going to be, I think it might be hard for them to get used to, but remain open-minded.
Yeah.
Like for instance, I have family in Pymatuning Valley schools. I have family in Lakeside schools. I have family in Geneva schools. So I would like to read all the things.
Yes, yeah.
But that's just me personally.
Yeah.
But I think making our newspaper unified, and given the fact that we are the newspaper of the year again this year for the Ohio News Media Association, just proves that what we're doing is good and right. We like to write about our businesses. Our mom and pop businesses are our backbone. I mean, they've been right along with us since Gazette Newspaper started 150 years ago next year. It's the mom and pop businesses in this community that keep this community going. So I think getting the word out about them more county-wide than specifically per paper is going to help increase their revenue as well.
Similar, yeah,
which that's the goal. We are here to market our local businesses.
Yep, exactly. I love that. So how do you envision the future kind of local journalism evolving with this new countywide? So it's kind of similar question, but do you see that just in our county, like you said, we have 8 different schools more, maybe, at this point, there's so many different townships. So how do you kind of see that evolving with the new county-wide approach?
Well, like I said, with having family in different school systems, not just speaking about school systems specifically, it's a wonderful thing because, as you know, Gazette Newspapers is an unbiased reporting entity, and we're held to a very high standard, and we're fact-based. And I think supporting local journalism, I mean, it's a matter of record. It's not print advertising, nor newspapers are going away. The dailies have suffered, absolutely, but we are not a daily newspaper, we're a weekly, and the difference is we're a community newspaper. You can't claim you're a community newspaper and not put your money where your mouth is. We have supported editorial through advertising, through cast donations for years and years and years, our community, because this is where we're based, and that's who supports us, and that's who we choose to support.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Anything else you want to share kind of on those lines or other things?
Well, I am super excited to have a new marketing director in Christine.
Wonderful.
She does have a degree.
Yay.
That's exciting.
Wonderful.
She comes to the table with a ton of ideas that you'll be seeing in the newspapers coming up soon.
That's wonderful.
But I also did want to mention that the Lake County Tribune is not changing. It's still staying the Lake County Tribune.
Yes, please share that. Yep, Lake County.
So Lake County Tribune still staying Lake County Tribune, but in Ashtabula County we'll have the Gazette.
Yep, and then Roaming Shores, right? It still has their
Shores News is still once a month. The beginning of the month we print Shores News for the association. So
that's great. Thank you for sharing
we've
that.
We've been around a long time and plan to be around a long time.
Exactly. Evolving, change. Change is hard for everyone, but you do have to change with the times.
One thing you can bank on is change. Everything changes whether you want it to or not.
Yes, exactly. So it can be more exciting. We can do different things too, which is great. Christine, if you want to share a little with the marketing, and I know some of this will be used, sharing information from other departments that, and were involved in this, but what was kind of the creative process behind the design of the new masthead? And I know, Becke, you kind of have some information on that too, because it's going to be one paper, right? Unified masthead. What is that kind of going to look like?
The new masthead is the Gazette in larger font. Then we also have the Courier and the News still on there so that our readers know that it's still there. It's just combined into one.
Yeah, that's great.
So I think our graphics manager, Lisa Zavada, is extremely talented.
The best.
And and she created this masthead. She gave us several to choose from. And it's so funny because the owner, Jeff Lamson, myself, and Lisa all agreed on the same
that's
one.
Great.
That's
fantastic when you do those kind of things. You have one you like, and I'm sure you have background with that too. And I pick something, and I'm like, I hope they like the one I actually like more a little. And if they don't, that's okay. But
it was only sensible to go with the Gazette because that's the oldest paper.
That's what I was thinking too. Yeah, along those lines, that if they'll be more used to that. And then we'll also, keep watching the video because at the end we'll have it, and even maybe in part of this video we'll have the masthead, so you'll be able to see that prior if you watch this. But yeah, I think just having, like you said, the Gazette so known, and sometimes people just naturally call it that, even if they're,
People still
Browns.
call it that.
Yes.
And I mean, believe it or not,
Yep.
we've been in this county, like I said, for 150
Yes,
years,
which
and
is
there are
great.
still people in this county that don't even know we're here.
Yes,
and that just
I know
blows my mind.
it does really blow your mind
Yeah.
for sure. So was there incorporated elements from the Gazette, the Courier, the News? I know they're similar. You know, they all kind of look
Yes.
similar in some ways, but were there different design elements incorporated into those?
Go ahead, Christine. I don't think we wanted to keep it somewhat the same because that's what we're known for.
Yes.
That's what it looks like.
Yes.
Let's just keep
Not go
that the
completely
same.
different. Yeah.
But we did incorporate. Well, I don't want to give it away.
Yeah,
so.
we don't want to go because you'll see the picture. I said because you can see some of it, but knowing that the layout's kind of similar,
Yes.
you know, of the paper
Yes.
and like all of that, and then obviously if Christine's going to add some new more, that's really exciting. You know, exciting to know how that stuff's going to look for advertisers and everything like that too, which is great. So what message or feeling do you kind of feel like the new paper will have for readers? Since it does look similar, do you think they'll get that feeling of getting the similar paper that they've got? You know, someone getting the news, will they still feel like they're getting a similar paper, like you said, or just in design wise?
Personally, I think it's going to be better.
Yeah. So some
because I know Christine has some ideas about using we send these out with every renewal notice. It's called the We Care.
Yeah.
I read every single one personally.
Yep.
And Christine has some good ideas that's going to come with this, but I don't want to give that away
No,
either.
don't give it away.
So get your We Cares in.
Yes.
But I think the Gazette now merged with the Courier and the News is going to be better than the Gazette individually, the Courier individually, and the News individually.
And that's been a long time, so that, like you said, seeing that.
And I mean, our readers have even said it on We Cares. Why don't you just go to one paper? And I mean, that was as much as 10, 15 years ago, and we just, no.
We want to try to keep it. Yeah, exactly. But
so
then as you see it, like you said, coming together, I feel like it's just going to be much more people discovering things in their community and just really seeing like, oh my goodness, you know, which I think is fantastic. So was there any challenges really that you saw when everybody working through this or thinking about this?
There were a few hiccups. It's hard because, our drivers deliver newsstands and we have a lot of newsstands in such a large county. So it was hard to get them structures in such a way that they have time to deliver all those newsstands on one day.
Yes, wow.
As opposed to 2 days
true.
now. So we'll see this week.
Yes,
but I think we're good, but of course we will see.
Yes,
we'll be tweaking it and
but that's what you do with new things that you put out there. You always have to like tweak and stuff. But is there anything else either one of you would like to share without obviously going into too many details, because I like exciting new changes too, anything?
I feel like we really covered it all. There's a lot of very exciting new fun things coming, so stay tuned.
Yeah, I think that's perfect way to put it.
And please, shoot an email. My email address is in the pub box of every newspaper, and send me your opinions.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely.
And we'll put information. So obviously, you've seen my face weekly on social media. Sorry about that. No, I'm joking. But I still will be doing those weekly news videos. So they might change up a little bit as well, just fitting things in and how to best do it. So I'll work with my editor on that kind of thing. But follow us on Instagram right now. We're still on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. This will be posted on all of those areas, but we'll be continuing to do new things and changes too as well on there. So, but thank you ladies for just meeting with me today. I'm so excited, like I said, especially around the holiday. Yay, something new coming like 4th of July, and then hopefully everyone can enjoy a little time off then on 4th of July through all these, changes and new things. So, but thank you so much, Ashtabula and Lake County, for watching, and I will see you next week. Bye.
Bye.